it's Mrs. Ludwig. Today is assignment 7 of distance learning, and we've made it to functions, a whole new unit. And guys, fun is in the word, so it's going to be pretty awesome moving forward. Okay, here we go. So functions. Functions are just fancy notation for what we already use. Okay, so functions are represented as y equals 3x plus 1. But like I said, function notation is now just fancy notation of instead of y, it's now this. So this, which is called f of x, is really just y. Same thing it's equal to as 3x plus 1. The only thing that changes is y. Y is swapped out for f of x. F names the function. This can be any letter of the alphabet. X names the variable. So f of x means that in this area right here, I'm going to have an x. If there was an m here, then there would be an m here. So the first set of exercises is rewriting the equation in function notation using f as the function. So what that means is use f as the function. If it said use q as the function, then you would have put q parentheses whatever the variable is in the given equation. So what I'm talking about is the following. Use f as the function. So I know the easy part is this part always stays the same. Now I got to figure out what variable goes there. Well, whatever is in the equation on the right-hand side. So literally that's it. You're literally rewriting the left-hand side. You're getting rid of the y and you're putting f parentheses, whatever the variable is. So then number 2, you're using f as the function. 3m minus 5 is the equation, the function. So in the parentheses, I'm going to put m because m is given in the problem. And that is it. Literally, that's all we're doing. Okay, so we're using f as the function, parentheses, 6p minus 2. The variable that's being used is p, so that's it. For number 4, it's going to be f parentheses 7x plus 9. The variable that's being used is x. There you go. Then number 5, we're using f as the function, so f parentheses 1/2 j plus 2. We're just rewriting the part that's on the right-hand side of the equal sign. And the variable is j, so that's why that goes in the parentheses. Okay, and the last one. The function is f, so f parentheses equals, this stays the same, and the variable is x. So there you have it. That's it. We've literally rewritten every single given question just to look a bit more fancy. Fancy meaning with the parentheses. And you don't say, for instance, f parentheses j. You say f of j. I know that's kind of weird, but that's the lingo. And the most important thing about this, write yourself a note. This example up here, what is it? F of x equals 3x plus 1. This is not multiplication. So in everything we do in math, if something's right next to it, usually it's multiplication, but this is not. It's just the fanciness of the new notation. Okay, so moving on to the next part, evaluating functions. For evaluating functions, you really just plug in the number for the variable. So what I'm talking about is, see how it says f of x the equation is equal to 4x minus 1. Find f of x when x equals 3. So x is right here, and we're told x equals 3. So we're literally going to put 3 wherever we see an x. And it literally just turns into a PEMDAS problem. Now you could do the mental math. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. Or just plug it in the calculator and let the calculator do all the work for you. So the answer here is 11. So basically what you're trying to do is find y. That's what you want to do, because f of x is fancy notation for y. So when x is 3, when the input is 3, the output is y equals 11. That's broken down what we're doing. Okay, so the next equation is if f of g is g squared minus 1, find f of negative 2. So the variable that's in the parentheses is g. So this is replacing g. So it's going to be f of negative 2 equals wherever I see a g, I'm replacing it with a 2. Everything you substitute gets parentheses around it. Do everything in the calculator. Hit enter. Oopsies, I'm lying. I didn't finish the problem. Subtract 1. Okay, there we go. The answer is 3. So in essence, what we're doing here, guys, is the input. X was negative 2. That was the input. We did some sort of calculation, and in that case, it was g squared minus 1. And when we did the calculation with the x equals negative 2, the output or the answer turned out to be 3. So basically, we're finding coordinates on the graph. But we'll get there another day. This is so exciting. It's functions. Fun is in the word, people. Remember, fun is in the word. Okay, so for number 9, the domain of f of x equals 3x squared is negative 2, 1, 3. Find the range. All right, so a couple of notes I want you to write down. Domain are the possible x values. And the range are the possible y values. How can you remember this, you're thinking to yourself? You know in the ordered pair x comma y, oopsies, I shouldn't be writing it there, x comma y. It's alphabetical order, right? X comes before y. Well, domain represents the x's, and the range represents the y's. So if you write D and R in order, they're in alphabetical order as well. So that's always helpful. Domain goes with x's, y goes with range. So basically what's happening for this problem is the x values are negative 2, 1, and 3. Find the range. So what you have to do is find when x is negative 2. Find when x is 1, find when x is 3 to the given equation. So instead of 3x squared, we're going to put 3 times negative 2 squared. Put that right in your calculator. That's 12. Okay, so instead of f of 1, it's going to be 3 times 1 squared. Put that in your calculator. 3 times 1 squared. Again, any substitution you make, put parentheses around it. That gives you 3. And then 3 times 3 squared. When you put that in the calculator, you get 27. So, how do you give your answer, you wonder? Well, the question was given with squiggly brackets. Yes, the squigglies are back. So your answer's final answer has to have all three numbers in no particular order. They do not have to be in numerical order. Just write them in squigglies because the question was given in squigglies. So the squigglies are back. I'm not happy with this squiggly, guys. I'm not, but I'm not going to waste your time and erase it. All right, did you get the notes down? Make sure you pause the video, go back, rewind, do what you need. Message me, let me know what questions you have. And now the restricted domain questions. You've seen this before. You know that this is the beginning value and this is the ending value. So, the domain of this equation, f of x equals 3x plus 1, is from -2, is less than or equal to x, is less than or equal to 2. So which is the smallest value in the range? So here's your strategy. You want the smallest answer for the y values. Okay, so domain is the x's. So they're giving you the x values, right? Because there's an x in between them. They want you to find the y's, or excuse me, the smallest of the y's. So think about it, guys. This represents the smallest x. This represents the largest x. Only plug in the two given numbers. So, strategy here, only plug in the two given numbers. So I'm going to do it. Instead of f of x, I'm going to put f of -2. And the formula is 3x plus 1. I'm going to make it 3 times -2 plus 1. Okay, so I'm putting that in the calculator. Hitting enter, I get -5. So I get -5 for one answer. I know you know the answer already, guys, but humor me. You always want to put in, just to make sure, the two given numbers, just to make sure. I don't want to make more work for you, but as you can see, this will take one moment of your time. So you're plugging in the largest x value, smallest x value, you're plugging in the largest x value. You want to see which is going to produce the smallest y value, the range. So I put this in the calculator, and as you expected, it gave me a positive number, it gave me a bigger number. So these two guys right here, -5 is a y, and 7 is a y. So as you can see, the -5 is the smaller one. There it is. Choice A. So now our final question of the day for classwork. So the domain of g of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 1 is -5 is less than or equal to x is less than 1. So these are your x values because x is in the middle. Which is the largest value in the range? And don't forget, range is the y values. Okay? Again, plug in the two given numbers. So I'm, instead of g of x, remember I said they can use any alphabet letter from the alphabet. I can't talk. So they're using g. So g -5 parentheses equals -5 squared plus 2 times -5 minus 1. And I'm going to put that in the calculator right now. -5 squared plus 2 times -5, subtract 1. Are you using the correct subtractions and negatives in the calculator? Remember, negatives are the small ones. They're this one. Okay. So you get 14. Sorry, guys. And then you also want to plug in 1. A little sloppy there, sorry. So I'm going to plug this in the calculator. One squared plus 2 times 1 minus 1, and I get 2. Oh my gosh, look at this. I plugged in the smaller number and it gave me the bigger number. I plugged in the smaller number and it gave me the smaller number here. So if you guys would notice, that's why it's worth plugging in both given numbers, just to make sure. Okay, so the answer here is choice B. Okay, so manage your time. Make sure that you complete the homework assignment 7 homework, 3 questions, and that's it. Take a picture, hand it in. Make sure you try something, okay? Don't leave it blank. Try something. Try every single question. All right, guys. Hope you're having an okay day. Miss you. Talk to you soon. Bye.